starts to move in a certain way that it don't usually move in everyday life. And then you transfer that movement into your Aikido. So I think that weapons complement Taisabaki more than technique. Like I say, the second technique in Aikido, yeah? Because when you move with a weapon in your hand, you have to actually give it that extra movement. You have to elaborate what you're going to do, because it's an extra length to your reach, yeah? So you have to move in a certain way to make it respond. For instance, drawing the sword. You can't draw the sword just straight from the scabbard because your arms are not long enough. Yeah? You find difficulty in doing that. So what you have to do is use your hip. The hip has to drop back to allow the sword to be released from the scabbard. That is Taisabaki. That is the beginnings of your body movement, learning where your hip is. Even though we walk around, we've had these hips from day one when we were born. Some of us don't know where they are. We don't use them to the best effect. Yeah? We have to be shown. We have to understand how to use. But it's no different than walking. You have to be shown things. And if the instructor is showing these things, then it becomes easier. If you're expected to just pick it up, it would never happen. Taisabaki actually comes into its own with a multi-man attack, yeah, like you say, because you can't be static because you've got several attackers. So if you've practiced some time with Taisabaki with your individual partner, all it is a step up from that, no more. Trouble is that what we tend to do, or what I tend to see, is that people try to still go for individual people within their multi-man attack. If you try to do that, you end up with people around you. You can't move, yeah, because they're just clamping your style. They're moving in. What you need to do is actually be moving all the time, drawing them in. If you move towards one, he'll attack first. He thinks that that's his only initiative. He's got to come in because you're near him. He feels that the others want him to do that. That he's expected to do that. What he doesn't realise is that you've choreographed that, you've made that happen. You've taken that on board, that if you move towards him, he's got to move towards you. You know then who your first man is. If you're static at the beginning, it's very difficult then to start off. It's like trying to start the engine up in a panic, in shark-infested water. You keep pulling in and pulling that string and nothing's happening, and that's what it's like when you're static within a multi-man attack. You want to go, but you're too late. But if you're continually moving, they have to move to get you. They have to move to make a contact. Keep them moving. That's the way it works. If you look at trying to make a technique, what you'll find is that the technique will just go away because the attack won't be right. He'll suddenly realise that it's like a choreographed movement. What you actually need to do is just move. Make a contact. You make the contact, touch, just feel the arm coming through or whatever, and then make the technique. It's so easy that way, rather than trying to force something on that's not really going to be there. I see over and over again where multi-man attacks are very much choreographed. Each individual has his own technique, one he has to do. You see it when you're watching it. It is difficult to actually do a real multi-man attack within the dojo confounds, because people are trying to ad lib a little bit, or trying to preempt what you're trying to do, or things like this. The best thing to do with a multi-man attack to actually demonstrate your Taisabaki is actually say to your ukis, yeah, just come in with what you want. And then yourself, don't preempt on what you're going to do for each individual uki. Because you practice with that uki on Kodogaeshi and he looks very spectacular, don't think that you should do Kodogaeshi with him. Just move. Just keep moving until something comes into your head, you know, until you make a contact. Then the technique will just be there. Sometimes you'll make the technique and the uki will go into the other uki. So you've killed two birds with one stone. Yeah, you've pure economy of movement then. You've created a situation where you've got no more attackers. But if you just continue to do things like kokinagi and things like this, you must understand that even though it's a controlled environment where your uki can make ukemi, because that's what his job is, and he does, and he comes back. In a real situation, that could be exactly the same. Yeah? People are not going to be making ukemi in the street because they don't know how to make ukemi. What you need to do is you have to actually deal with that person. Yeah? So if you just let him go and fly by and you just touch on the way through, 9 times out of 10 he'll roll. He'll roll on the floor, get up and come back in and help his friend. Yeah? So really you need to immobilise that person. Use that immobilisation then to prevent the next person from attacking you directly. Let him attack and hope he gets his friend, If he doesn't, you've still changed his mind. You've still give him another thought pattern than he originally had, because what he originally intended to do didn't happen. So he has to really think again and reassess the situation. As he's assessing the situation, we'll finish with him as well. Yeah? So you're constantly moving to them. Yeah? Don't let them come to you. You let them come to you, they'll just overpower you. Go to individual people. You do that with Taisabaki, because once you get to them, you have to do something with them, obviously.